I will remake something 50 times if it's not perfect. And that's not coming out of the customer's pocket, that's coming out of mine. And it's just a fear that I have. I operate on fear. A lot of people are not afraid of customers or clients. I'm afraid that they're not going to be happy. And so I do everything I can to keep them happy.
You said that resilience is your strongest trait, right? So what did resilience cost you personally?
I sacrifice a lot of my free time to do what I do, where I spend way more time focused on work than I do with like friendships and a life outside of work. I have a daughter. She's my priority, obviously, but I lose a lot of time with my family that I'm here so much. And it's just because I care so much about what I'm doing. And I know it's a big picture. And one day I'll be able to stay home that day, And I think it's just a reminder that like this is a big thing that I have going and I don't want to blow it.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Closet Therapy with your favorite professional closet organizer, declutter expert, and scientist, Shaniece Jones. And today, I got a special guest. I literally found him on my Discover page, and I have been obsessed with him ever since. I stalked his whole page and reached out, and he said yes to doing an episode with me. So I want to introduce you guys to Domenic Marcolongo. Am I saying that right?
That's right. Hello, everybody.
I want to say it right. I'm big on getting people's last names right. So did I say it proper?
It's one of those names where you read it and it's exactly what it looks like, but you want it to sound different.
Okay, perfect. Marcolongo. There we go. Domenic. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little backdrop of who Domenic is because I was impressed just by exploring his Instagram, and I cannot wait to dive into more of his story and learn more about him beyond the highlight reel. So I'm going to give you guys some of his little backdrop, his little story, okay? So Domenic Marcolongo has carved out a unique niche in high-end closet design by creating artistic, personalized showcases instead of simple, predictable storage spaces. He is the owner of Las Vegas Closet Design and LVCD Millwork Studio. He pushes the boundaries and comfort zones. At 18 years old, he joined a cabinet shop as a draftsman, and the rest is history. In a world where luxury is often imitated but rarely mastered, Domenic stands as the creative force redefining the art of the modern closet. He has become synonymous with elevated living, crafting couture spaces that blur the line between architecture, fashion, and fine art. He is the designer of choice for discerning homeowners, celebrities, and tastemakers across the country who understand that a well-designed space is the ultimate expression of self. He is a storyteller of space. Let's dive into this story. Domenic, thank you so much for accepting this invitation.
I did all that?
Yeah, you do, right? Shocking, period.
Thank you.
Exactly. I am so grateful that you decided to, one, meet a complete stranger and be willing to have this conversation with me and share your story. But the most important part that I cannot wait to hear more about, because this is what grabbed my attention. It was an Instagram post. And in the post, I'm going to read the post, but before all of the awards in the showrooms, there was a moment someone told you to go to work at a coffee shop. And I want you to take me back there to that moment. You want me to read the post first?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Guys, this is so important because he was literally sitting in the space that we're talking about. And this is literally aligning with my hypothesis around the closet and all the things. Sitting in his actual closet, this is what he wrote. Said goodbye to my closet today. This was more than just a closet in so many ways to me. It was a reminder of how far I've come and how resilience has always been my strongest trait. I went from working for a corporation that told me I should go work at a coffee shop. Shame on them. If I didn't want to play by their rules and stay in their box, to owning a company with 16 employees, an 11,000 square foot wood shop and showroom, and a continuous flow of incredible opportunities. I've gotten to travel to parts of the world I never thought I would see and be involved in a community that supports and uplifts each other to share the value in our craft. We aren't just designing spaces that are fun to look at. We are creating systems that support our clients' lifestyles and allow them to live more comfortably. I've always believed in the transformative power of good design and organization, and getting to live in a space I created was so beneficial to being able to provide more insight to my clients. It almost feels like LVCD was born in this exact room. This was my happy place for so long, where I could sit and reflect on how rapidly the world moves around me, constantly collecting more memories along the way. Life is short. Buy the bag. Get the shoes. Live your freaking dreams out. He said effing dreams out, y'all. I'm a little raunchy, love this. Please take us back there. What in the world?
Okay. So hearing that, like hearing you say it, I got chills because I was like, I feel exactly the same way in that moment. That post, I was selling that house that I built that closet in with that company who told me I should go work at a coffee shop. And that closet alone was one thing that like I had the installers at that. It was a franchise, one of the biggest franchises in America for closets, who I was the number one in sales. I was selling $7 million a year just myself. And then I grew a team of designers that would sell, and they were doing $5 million a year as a team. So we were killing it, right? And the vice president of the company came to fire me. He flew all the way to Vegas just to fire me because I wouldn't give them my rights to my Instagram and I wouldn't give them my portfolio. And I was an independent contractor. I was fully me, and I always had my own Instagram, but they wanted it. And they said, basically, if you don't sign this agreement, you're out, you're done. You can't work here effective like Wednesday. And this was a Monday. And I was like, well, then I guess I got to be out then, like I'll figure it out. It's fine. And he was like, I don't understand, if you want to like not follow the rules of a corporation, like we don't allow Instagram. And this was an add-on. It was like a new rule, not something I ever signed or agreed to when I started. It was like something that they created because they didn't like the growth that I had. They thought I looked like a competitor, but I was like, as long as I'm bringing you the money,
exactly,
what do you care? I'm generating sales because you guys weren't getting leads. And that's really what it was. And I ended up creating a name for myself. I made all that money for them. And that was the cards they dealt me. And I'm like, you know what, then it's time to go. And he goes, well, good luck finding somewhere to work. You might as well go work at a coffee. I said, if I wanted to follow this like strict of rules, I could go work for a corporation. I could go work at Starbucks. And he's like, you'll never make this much money as a barista. And I said, who said I was going to be a barista? I have a college degree in marketing and business. Period. I could go work for corporate. I wasn't saying a coffee shop barista, but don't slander them because those are your clients. Those are the people that are buying your products.
Exactly.
So I'm like, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, yeah, this is time to go. And some of those franchises, one of the things, and they're like when you're interviewing with them, one of the questions that they ask is, are you comfortable selling a product that you might not be able to afford yourself? And I'm like, that's an ugly question.
That is.
Like what makes you think that because I work here that I can't afford this one day, or that I shouldn't have a goal to aspire towards what I'm selling? Like, I'm selling the dream. I want the dream too one day. And if I have to sell a lot of dreams to get to my dreams, that's what I got to do. And they didn't understand that. It was a big miss on their part. And everyone kind of felt bad at the end when they saw me leave. And they're like, oh, we were doing that to scare you. We didn't know you'd actually leave.
So they were like literally trying to call your bluff, not knowing that obviously there was something that you had down on the deep inside of you that felt like, I actually can do this myself.
Yeah, and it was about 3 years in the making of them harassing me about it, where I had worked for them for like 7, 8 years. And it was like daily almost, like, when are you going to take your Instagram down? When are you going to do this? And then they would see my sales and they're like, let's give them another chance, like let's ride it out a little bit longer. I'm like, yeah, when the money's good, you want the sales.
Exactly.
Whatever. But when they couldn't really control me, and I'm like, I'm not out there on the internet talking about weird stuff. I'm talking about closets, like I'm talking about what you're trying to sell, and that's it. And then when I left, I became way more vocal, and I was like, now I'm going to be a person, and I'm going to talk and speak freely, and that's why I do say the F word in my
Listen,
post.
and I love it.
It makes me,
because not everyone
it makes it more relatable.
Be yourself. That's the whole goal.
Yeah.
Like there's this like metaphor, and I started sharing like this hypothesis that I have around the closet about it being like the most overlooked space in our home, but like the most transformational space. And like you're literally telling me right now, like some people struggle, myself included. That's one of like my little skeletons that's in the back of my closet, is being expressive and being, confident to just be all of me versus wondering like what is someone going to think? Like, like
Yeah.
I think that you have mastered that. And that's one thing that I do admire about you. Like throughout your Instagram, you see your personality. Like you can see, you even did, it was in your stories. And I was like, yes, say it for the people in the back, because you literally called out people who will reach out and be like, hey, like, let's do trade, not knowing that when we are in these, it's a business. It's not like, hey, like, yes, we'll become friends because we spend so much time with our clients, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to lower my services and give you something for free for exposure. My work speaks for itself. And that's what I got from what you were talking about on this in your stories on social media. I was like, someone got to say it. And I'm happy that you did. Like you were confident enough to actually say it. So
oh, I get tons of DMs where they're like, oh, it's a celebrity client. What can you do for free for them? And I'm like, celebrities pay their bills. I don't know who you're working with.
Exactly. And so much so that they will have you sign an NDA to let you know, like,
Exactly.
I am not working with you for, like, I am literally working to pay because I trust you and your service. So,
yep.
People who know, know. If you know, you know, right?
They know.
And I want to go back to that moment, like when you were walking out of that door, when you were like, all right, I'm done here. What were the roller coaster of emotions? Like, what were you feeling in that moment?
I think it was freedom. It was like, I felt so much obligation to that company and my team, and just like the amount that I had on my shoulders there, where I was like, I could like just walk away from all of this right now and figure it out. I could start a whole new career. I could do something different. I could do anything. And at that time, they cared so much about the Instagram. I only had 4,000 followers. It was the pictures and the work that they wanted. It wasn't like a fame or attention. It was just the photographs that I would take. And I'm like, then go to the job site, make the video, like do that part. I did that. That's it. But it was like, the second I announced that I was leaving, I had so much support that it was like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can do this. It took a few years of figuring out, do I want to fabricate? Do I just want to be a designer? Who is going to fabricate to my level of standard that I feel confident I can put my name on it? And I had to go and get my contractor's license, and that takes time itself. So it was a challenge, but I figured it out, and it turned into my shop today, which is like such a dream. It wasn't even my dream, actually. It was my nightmare. I was like, I don't want to own a shop.
Speaking of which, I'm like, I want to come to Vegas to view this shop because I know that you like have the showroom and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I just need to make a trip from LA and come out there and visit you. But that's a conversation on the side. But even you speaking about you going to get your contractor's license, there's a point that I want to kind of connect to your childhood because I believe your mom was a contractor, right? Like, how was that growing up? Like knowing, like what was your dream? We're going to go back. We're going to take a few steps back, right? Bring me back to young Domenic. What was your home environment like? Like what was it like growing up? And I mean, like your mom, to me, when I read that, I was like, oh, she's dope. Like a contractor as a woman? What? Let's go. So tell me more.
So that's one big thing for me. My mom being a contractor has made me such a feminist where I connect so much better with women. And women are predominantly my clientele. And I just have so much more respect for people who work hard for their money because of her. And I think she was a good example of more of a businesswoman than anything, which I don't think she gets that kind of credit for. But she was a contractor and a designer. So obviously a lot of my experience stems from working on job sites as a teenager with her. And she let me be so involved with it. But I was a brat. I was such a mean kid when I was a teenager. I wasn't a bad kid. I was just annoying. And I wanted to go anywhere away from Vegas for college. And I got full ride scholarships, like talent scholarships to go to all these art schools. And my mom was like, you don't want to be an actor on Broadway. You want to be a plastic surgeon. Cause that's what I thought I wanted to be when I was a kid. And I was like, no, I got all these full ride scholarships, but she wouldn't let me take them because she's like, that's not really what you want to do. You want, and we actually just figured this out like 6 months ago. She's like, you've been saying from day one, you just want to make things pretty. Like when you thought you wanted to be a plastic surgeon, you thought you wanted to make people pretty. And now you make homes pretty. And she's like, that's all it was. You just wanted to make the world a prettier place. And I was like, you know what? That's really sweet. That's kind of like wholesome.
That
But
is so
I
good
went to
because
pre-med.
our parents shape so much of like, and it's crazy because my background, like I'm Jamaican and Cape Verdean, like West Indian background. And normally it's like, my dream was I want to go in fashion and all these things. My mom was like, no, you're too smart for that. So like our parents are trying to tell us what to do. And then in hindsight, you know, you'd be like, thank you for making me take a different route or whatever. But like the fact that your mom was able to make that connection so many years later of like, you've always wanted to do this. You just didn't know. So you're still doing it. You're making things pretty, which is super dope.
Well, I tried. I went to pre-med, but it
Me
was
too.
so cold. I'm from Vegas, and I showed up and I had flip-flops and short shorts, and it's like September and it started snowing, and I called my mom and I was like, I don't want to go to pre-med no more. It's cold. I can't be here. If I finish school here, I'm gonna have to go to medical school here. Like I can't be here for 8 years. I gotta go. So then I came back to Vegas. I went to school for business and marketing, and I went back to that cabinet shop that I started with when I was 18, and I worked there through college. And I originally started doing their marketing, and then I turned into their draftsman, and then I became their everything. And that's kind of how I fell into cabinets.
So you kind of like are self-taught in terms of like drawing and like figuring it out. It's like what led you to niche down to closets? What was it about the closet?
You know, the cabinet shop I worked at the beginning, they weren't specifically a closet company, but they only ever did closets. And she always tried to convince me, like, just do closets, don't do full interiors. Cause I did. I had a business with my mom. We had this interior design firm where we would do remodels and flips and everything while I was going through school and working there. I was hustling, but she always was like, you know what? The drapes are going to be late. The couches, the fabric's going to come in wrong. The pillows are going to come in sewn wrong. Like it was always like, there's so many problems. She's like, just narrow down on a niche, which I respect that she told me that. Like we didn't get along. We butted heads along the way, but I'm like, you know what? I need to narrow down on my niche. And they never did kitchens. They never did other cabinets other than closets. And so I just kind of like fell in that box and I loved it and I honed in on it. And then I put my love for like shoes and fashion and luxury life and glamour. And I'm like, this could be so much more fun. It doesn't need to be boxes. They need to be like vessels for your clothing, you know?
I love that. So like, I'm kind of piggybacking or like going back to this moment because you said I wasn't a bad kid, but I was annoying and I was mean. Explain that. What do you mean you were mean?
I was just like, I was drama. Like I was so dramatic. I think I didn't know who I was yet, so I was just pissing people off all the time. You know, I was always getting in trouble. I wasn't getting in like legal trouble or like I wasn't doing drugs. I was just a backtalker. I couldn't shut up. I could not keep my mouth shut.
And you know,
I was loud. I was like a class clown.
It serves you well now though, right? Because imagine like you wouldn't have had the confidence to go on your stories and actually say something. You didn't call people out. You did it with class. Like, let's be clear. Okay. You did it with class.
Yeah.
So a lot of that stuff.
I refined my back talk.
Exactly. And I got to get my back talk because I do it in private, you know, like I just be like behind closed doors, but you inspired me.
Yeah, but I get a good reaction from people from it, which helps, where I'm like, okay, so you are all thinking this. I'm just the only one saying it out loud. And so it feels good where I'm like, okay, let's all get more comfortable with each other.
Yeah, and we need somebody like you. You're like the leader of our industry. Like someone that's speaking on our behalf that we say the things and we could just be like, "Yep, agree. I agree." And I'm going to repost this or say the same thing like I stand behind you. So
yeah, I befriended more people in the industry after I left that are like, I'm just like you and I want to do it how you're doing it. Like, tell me, pave the way, you know? And so there's so many people that want to go independent and want to do this for real and they just don't know how to start.
And so you're like actually like showing us. And so even speaking about that, when you first left, what did you do to acquire? I mean, you probably had people that were like, wait, Domenic is leaving. Like, I'm going wherever he goes. It's almost like in Devil Wears Prada, like when she was like, I have a list, the list, right? So like, what was it like for you stepping outside of those doors and taking whatever frustration, the words that were spoken to you, because sometimes in the moment we may not seem like it affects us, but subconsciously those words actually play on replay in our subconscious minds, right? So what did you do to actually step out of that space and start building your business? Like, what was the first thing that you did to acquire your own clients and audience?
Like the day I left, I got a really good phone call from a client. And the first thing they asked, they're like, I don't know if you do this, but would you ever design a closet that you're not building? Like, would you just do renderings? And I'm like, girl, if you only knew, that's all I can do right now. Like, and she's like, okay, great. I have this really high profile client and they have a manufacturer in California that's going to fabricate and install, and they're flying them out to Vegas. It's already booked, but they need you to design it. You just do the renderings. And I'm like, okay, so stuff like this exists and I can find that avenue until I figure it out. And it worked. I actually took a couple of the girls that were on my team to lunch when I got fired. And I'm like, what are we all going to do? You know, because a lot of them didn't really want to be there if I wasn't there, because it wasn't a fun place to work. And we made our own fun. You know, we had a good time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, we didn't have a lot of support on the outside. So I took them all and I was like, I want to take all you guys with me. I need to make sure that I'm making money before I bring you away from your income. I don't want you to leave here and think that I'm going to pay you what you're making there if I don't even know.
Yeah.
But there was one in particular who I'm like, I need you, but I'm not going to waste your time. And now she's my project manager.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all.
And now we work side by side. So it took a year where I had another assistant for a year, and I wanted to make sure the time was right for her. And I called her and I was like, when do you want to start? And she's like, I'll quit right now.
I have like so many questions,
So she quit.
But I want to know, based on the company that you were at and then the company that you built, what are some values that you are now incorporating into your culture of your business, like that was not there? I mean, you pretty much created your own culture within like your group of friends that you made it fun and it was like a whole different vibe. Like when you were there, what are the values and things you brought over to your current company, LVCD?
I think the biggest thing is transparency, is explaining to your customers what their products are, where they come from, how they're made. And that's just not something you get out of a franchise or a bigger company, because the people that are selling it don't even know. Like, I actually went to the factories and I saw them. So I think that education helped me sell better because I knew what I was selling. But being able to use the proper verbiage, like, it is particle board a lot of the times, and people think that that's not glamorous, but that's 95% of furniture is made with particle board, and it is what it is. When you say furniture grade particle board, all of a sudden it sounds acceptable. And so it's like learning different terminology where you can be transparent with the client and tell them what they're going to get. And also, I like to expose the myths in the closet sales, like the whole 50% off plus free installation. You're not getting nothing 50% off or free. It's marked up to markdown.
Talk about it, please. Tell the people. Let them know.
There's so many myths. I'm like, I was the sales manager. I know every single secret trick on how to make you think you're getting a deal. And I give you the price and I don't give you a discount, and that's it. Like,
Period.
I gave you the actual price and you're very happy with it because you're not being told, oh, it's $80,000, but I'll do it for 40. You're being told it's actually 60, and that's so much more direct, and the client appreciates that.
Yeah, I agree.
I think transparency is the biggest one. And quality, that is something that is like, I will remake something 50 times if it's not perfect. Like, and that's not coming out of the customer's pocket, that's coming out of mine. And it's just a fear that I have. I operate on fear. A lot of people are not afraid of customers or clients. I'm afraid that they're not going to be happy. And so I do everything I can to keep them happy. So I try to keep that like humbleness, as I could think I'm great or cool, but I'm still scared. I want to make sure that I deliver.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna come back to that because I want to tap into that, into your own personal closet. That whole I operate on fear, we're gonna run with that. I did want to ask you this. You said that resilience is your strongest trait, right? So what did resilience cost you personally?
Oh, personally? I sacrifice a lot of my free time to do what I do, where I spend way more time focused on work than I do with like friendships and a life outside of work. I have a daughter. She's my priority, obviously, but I lose a lot of time with my family that I'm here so much. And it's just because I care so much about what I'm doing. And I know it's a big picture. And one
Mhm.
day I'll be able to stay home that day, you know? And I think it's just a reminder that like this is a big thing that I have going and I don't want to blow it.
Oh, I love that. And I also, first of all, his daughter Zara she's the whole vibe, the mood, the character. She's all of the things. And I love that even though that you spend so much time away from her, you have like brought her on certain sites and like she's incorporated into some of the
Yeah.
things. Like, you know, like tomorrow is the first day. Like there's moments that you allow her to be a part of what you're doing, to see what you're doing, almost kind of like what your mom did to you.
Yeah.
And in that essence, like how did fatherhood change you?
Oh, my birth story is the most complicated,
Oh,
random. I found out I was having a baby. I adopted her, right? And it's a long story, but I got a phone call on my birthday that was like, a baby was born. I know you want a baby one day. Do you want a baby today? And I said, "Is it a girl?" And they were like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, yeah, yeah, I'll take it." And I was literally on my way to go. I was going to like Crate and Barrel. I was gonna go get like dishes because I was having a birthday party, and instead I went to buy my baby and I bought a stroller and a car seat. And my husband's looking at me like, "Are you crazy? Like, did you just say yes? You didn't even ask me." I said, "What do you mean ask you? Like, it's a baby. The baby's born."
this is what we want.
But we weren't on a list. We weren't like looking or seeking. It was completely random and it fell into our laps. And I'm like, I want this baby. And she kind of looks like us.
Yes,
Like it's kind
no,
of crazy. And now she,
no, honestly,
isn't that crazy?
I swear, like guys, if you're listening and you don't see us, but like you need to go to Dominic's page. I swear, like literally. So it was supposed to happen. Because I wouldn't have even known
Yeah.
that she was adopted. Because you know, like with modern day, you never know. Like you can make all the things happen. She literally looks
Hmm.
like y'all.
I know. And
So,
it just was an instant like, you're a dad, like today.
oh,
And I grew up with younger siblings. I have younger twin sisters, a younger brother. I was a middle child of five. And my husband has never even touched the baby, never touched the diaper, never a bottle, nothing. And this was 2020, like peak COVID times. He had just lost his job. He got laid off. He became my assistant because for some reason people were building houses during COVID and spending lots of money. So we were busy and I had to be my assistant. And the baby came around and I was like, you know what? This is great timing. You're not working. We just moved into a bigger house. Stay home. And
yeah.
he's like, I don't know how to raise a baby. So I would, in between all my appointments, I would go back home and I would feed her, I would change her, I would do everything. And then I got COVID. And I'm like, dude, I have to go on 2-week quarantine. You're gonna have to learn how to change a diaper. And now he's like a super dad and he's there all day, every day. It's his job.
Oh
And he
my
loves it.
God, I love that. And first of all, not you throwing him into the water, like, hey, we're dads and
Yeah.
we're parents today. Like, this is what's happening. Like, get with the program.
Oh, he was stressed.
That's crazy. So how has that like
Yeah.
strengthened your relationship together? Like as like your partner, like how have you guys' bond gotten stronger bringing in Zara?
I'm sure he'll love this answer because I'm not that like sweet, you know, but it really
We
has
are so
made
friends.
me it's made me see like because he didn't like to work. Like when
Mm.
he worked for me, he was my assistant, but I had a nickname for him. I called him Assista Can't because Assista can't do nothing. Like he would forget a tape measure, a pen, a notepad. And I was like, girl, you are the worst assistant ever. And I wasn't paying him. I was just saving money by not hiring an assistant.
But
But
still.
he he was doing the job, whatever, but he wasn't good at it. And he always said, he's like, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't want to work. He went to
Mm.
school and went to work to do what he went to school for. It just wasn't like his passion.
Yeah.
And then when he became a dad, he's like, this was my job. This was what I was meant to be. And
Mm.
so it really showed me like, okay, that's your skill. Like you're a fun dad. You're cool. Like he's the one that does everything with her all day long. And me, I'm like, I come home, I'm exhausted. And so he picks up a lot of that slack.
So that's good because
So it
this
really
was
made me
like
like appreciate.
it's like stay at home. Like, so you guys have like,
Yeah.
it's like you both found like your purpose and path and like it just worked out, even though he was like thrown into
Yeah.
the sharks, but he figured it out. And now look at him. Like,
Yeah. And I would have loved to be like a sugar baby, but now I'm the sugar daddy. So it is what it is. But I don't think I would ever want somebody to make my money. I
yeah.
like working, I enjoy what I do. So it's like I would be the worst sugar baby. I would never be home. I'd be at work.
Like, yeah, you could keep funding, but I'm still going to go to work. I'm not staying at home. But no, I
Yeah. And
freaking
I don't
love
like
that.
people controlling me.
I swear, like, this is probably why I was like on your page and I said, oh no, this is probably my inner friend. Like, I know, like, even when you said I'm not that like sweet and kind, people always be like, you're so direct. I'm like, maybe it's because I'm from the East Coast. I don't know. But that whole like lovey dovey, I'd be like, ugh, like, no.
Yeah. And it's not for me.
So I
I'm a little
want
more
to ask you
abrasive.
this. What's one thing having your daughter unknowingly healed you from, like healed inside you?
I think that is my sweet spot, where it kind of showed me like I'm not a heartless bitch, like I do. Am I allowed to cuss? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's
You're fine.
it's softened me a little bit, and it gave me more patience with people, and
Mm.
it slowed down things, but it really like changed my life, and I probably would be doing some wild stuff, going out every night, being crazy, and she's taught me how to grow up, which I love.
So you're pretty
Because
much
I'm really
telling
like an
me
old lady at heart.
I need to have a
I'm
child in
homebody.
order to get patience because your girl is
Oh, you'll learn
struggling.
patience with a kid.
Your girl,
Yeah,
your
because if you
girl's
don't have patience with
struggling.
a kid, you want to borrow her?
Listen, just for a day. That's how I do my nieces and
Just a
nephews. I have
day.
like over 10 nieces and nephews,
Yeah.
a set of twins. I'm always like, I'm the
Mhm,
cool aunt. I'll spend time with you. I'll send you money. You need Uber Eats. I got you.
mhm.
But you want to come stay with me for
But
how
then you send
long?
them on their way.
Exactly. Exactly. Send them back. I can send you back to your
Yeah.
parents. I love that. And so look, on this podcast, I like to tend to talk about like the messy middle, right? Like when we're doing closets and we're organizing, like there's this tendency to obviously appreciate the highlight reel that we see on Instagram for people, but there's this behind the scenes of like the messy middle, the parts when we're in our closet and we have those conversations with ourselves, or we hear that person who's told us to go work at a coffee shop, their voice in our head, or someone that may have said something that like really like shakes us up or causes us to shrink or not be fully who we are because then we lean into what they believe. And so I do want to ask you, because I want to talk about this messy middle. What's the first small decision that you had to make that you would say maybe changed everything for you?
Small decision?
Mm-hmm. You like everything is big.
I feel like I got big this all day long. It sucks. Sometimes I want a small one. You know what? Waking up earlier is,
Mm.
in the grand scheme of things, a pretty small decision that I made that really gives me a lot more like time
Mm-hmm.
and life, and it allows me to do things that I wouldn't be able to do.
Mm.
I couldn't do as many projects as I do if I did it in 8 hours.
Yeah.
So I think that just waking up earlier was something that was so important for me to get used to.
That's good. Because waking up, what they say, the early bird gets the worm, all the stuff is true.
It's
Exactly.
true.
It's a true
It is
fact.
true. It is true.
What's
Yeah.
in your closet when you're by yourself and you're looking in the mirror and you see, say for instance, you see the reflection of young Domenic. What's something that you struggled with as a child that you can actually say to him now?
Oh, body dysmorphia is real. Like, and I would say this lingers back to so many clients and their clothing where I keep sizes of things that I don't know. One day I might gain 20 pounds. One day I might fit into the thing that I don't fit into now. And so I hold on to it and I like hoard things. And so many people do that.
Yep.
And then I think when somebody else is in the room telling you like, girl, you don't need that. Like you aren't going to be 20 pounds. If you don't want to be 20 pounds heavier, you're going to make sure that you're not. And if you are, you should buy clothes that look good on you at that size instead of, it's like, and by the time you are whatever you're worried you might do one day, it might be out of season. And that's all you got to tell them. And then they're like, okay, I'm done being a hoarder.
Exactly. I'm like, please tell them.
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned like you operate out of fear. Where do you think that fear stemmed from? Like, it's good. it's good, but on the flip side, how does that show up internally for yourself? Like, where did that idea of fear and I want to please, people pleasing, right? Like you want to make sure you
Mhm.
please. Is that like a common thing that has traveled with you throughout your journey of life? Like where did that stem from for you?
I think I just had a high expectation growing up of like get good grades, do the right thing, and I think that that was so normal for me, and then I watch other people not put that much effort in, and it's like, "Oh, well, I actually like that I care more," and that doesn't bother me. I thought it bothered me when I was a kid. I thought that was annoying that I had to do homework or whatever, but now I'm like, I'm glad I did because I look at other people's situations where I'm like, "You could probably get yourself out of that?" I think that I'm very realistic about how
Mm,
most people get to where they are.
yeah. No, that's actually really good. It's so funny that because sometimes I'm like, oh, it's like West Indians, but like, as a Jamaican, like that's something that's like ingrained in us. Get good grades. Or my father, he's from the South. He's always like, I don't care about nothing else. Like get good grades. And like you think at the time,
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, like, this is heavy or this is weighing on me or like this is so much pressure. But in hindsight, if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have the work ethic that you actually have today. So
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
good and bad. I feel like sometimes modern day we're like so soft on kids. Here goes our tough side, right? Like it's kind of like,
Mhm.
no, this helped me become who I am today, right? And so
Yeah.
I love that.
I started my first job when I was 12 years old, and I'm like, I couldn't imagine not having that work ethic then.
What was your first job?
I was a paper boy. I was an actual paper
Stop
boy.
playing.
Mhm. I was standing on the street corner and I was slinging papers. But see, I was smart because I fought my way to the country club gate where instead of being on a random corner in a random neighborhood, I fought my way to create a new route where I wanted to stand on the outside of the country club gate. So everyone that's coming out, they have to stop at the light to pull out of their neighborhood. All these rich people, they're going to see this little boy who's asking for $1.50 and they would always tip. And so I had the highest tips.
That is You've always put yourself in the greatest positions, I see. You was doing this
Mhm.
from a
I
child.
said if I'm gonna work smart, I'm gonna work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. What would you say being like middle child? I always like tell my sister because she's also the middle child. I'm the youngest on my mom of three, and the second youngest on my dad's side of six. And I always like used to say my sister has middle child syndrome. The one that's like the dramatic, the mean one, the one that always got like. What
Mhm.
would you say as like the middle child is something that you learned from your older sibling and something that you learned from your younger siblings?
Oh, me and my older brother, we are so like completely opposite. Like we don't even look like we would even know each other. I'm short and brown hair, brown eyes, Italian looking, and he is tall, bald, blonde, Irish looking beard, blue eyes. Like we don't even look like we know each other and we're so different. And I think that he's taught me, especially like more recently, that we could totally be complete opposites, but we are a family. And I know he always has my back and kind of teaches me that not everyone's going to be like me or like the things that I like. And you have to learn how to like coexist,
Yes.
where we didn't get along as kids, and I think now we're good. My younger siblings, oh, they teach me how easy these kids have it. I'm like, they don't know how to tie their shoes. I'm like, come on. They teach me to fear for our future.
That's because they're gonna be taking care of us. Okay, we're the ones that's gonna suffer
Yes.
from this. Generation.
Yes. I'm like, what house did you grow up in? I'm like, we were cooking ourselves food at 8 years old. They don't even know how to use a microwave.
Do you ever tell your mom like you were softer on them than you were on me, or
Yes,
like
every day.
it's like what
It's funny. I
happened?
sound like a grandpa. Every day, I think I tell them, I'm like, I used to have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, walk 3 miles to get to the bus stop to take a 30-minute bus to my high school. You guys driving your Mercedes Benz every single day. I'm like, this is crazy.
Unfair,
This is so
first of
crazy. But
all. Unfair.
no fear there.
Question for our listeners who are in their like messy middle. What would you say to them about starting now, about owning their story, and like what would you tell them if they're in a messy middle right now and they're in a space maybe where they don't feel confident or someone has told them that it's impossible to pursue their dream or whatever like block, or I would say like clutter in their mind, what would you tell them?
I would say get out of that room, because if you surround yourself with people who will let you think that, you're in the wrong room. I think you need to always be not the smartest person in the room. Like, you need to be around people that you can learn from. And I would never trap myself around people who didn't believe in me.
Hmm.
I I surround myself with people that want good things in the future, and they speak about things and goals and not people, you know? Like, I'm
Yeah.
sure I love to gossip, you know, but it's it is about who you surround yourself with, especially if you're going through something emotionally. I don't think you
Hmm.
should ever sit with that alone.
Mm.
I think, like, I don't speak to a therapist, but I speak out loud a lot
Yeah.
to friends and people, and I speak my mind, and I think that you just have to get it out, because sometimes you just want to hear your own voice say it, and you know the answer, you know?
Yes. Who's in your, I would say I call it like my inner circle. Like who's in your inner circle
Mhm.
that you feel safe with?
I have, like, my childhood best friend. She was actually my mom's best friend's daughter. So we grew up together. My mom and her best friend were friends since, like, kindergarten,
Oh
and then they
wow.
had kids, and we are the same age. And so that's, like, my bestie. Um, my other bestie from high school. I keep, like, really long-term
Me
friends.
too.
I haven't met a lot of new people, but because I work so much now. But yeah, I have a few, like, core friends, but not a lot. But keep a small circle, and I like to host parties and have people over, but there's a couple people that I really just talk to, you know?
That you feel safe enough to tell the things that may be swarming in your head that you may not want to tell
Yeah.
someone else.
We have similar personalities. Like, we make the same jokes. We can be ourselves and say weird things and make noises.
Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. Question for you, right? I'm going to go to the segment in a moment that I love. It's called Closet Confessions. So it's just like a series of questions that we're going to ask. But before we like transition it into that space, you talked about your 20s, right? Like when is your birthday? I want to know your sign.
September
That is
24th.
September what?
24th.
My birthday is September 13th. There's a reason why I was
Ooh.
drawn to you. I absolutely, okay,
Mhm.
cool. My niece's birthday is on the 23rd too. So, okay. It's funny because she
My daughter's the
actually,
23rd. Yeah.
oh, really?
Mhm.
She called me last night
Yeah, because when I
and
got the phone call, yeah.
she was like, she doesn't call me auntie because I was her aunt young. And I always told her, don't call me
Mhm.
auntie because you don't make me old. I was in fourth grade when she was born. Don't do that. You're like my little sister. But she was like, you got any
Mhm.
tea for me? I'm like, no, I don't have tea for you today. There's no gossip. I don't want to know nothing about the family. But anyway, so I needed to know when your birthday was because I'm like, there's something I'm vibing with you on. But
Yeah.
I want to know in terms of to date, like with your business, you said that you have 16 employees. You have this big,
Mhm.
large space that you did not even dream of having, right? How did you step into leadership, like without even knowing how to lead a whole team and like business ownership? I guess you were kind of running a business with your mom and everything, but like
Mhm.
what has been different with LVCD, like it being your baby before you even had Zara? Like what are three lessons that you can say that you learned by stepping into this position of leadership?
I would say, like, you have to run your business how you would run it if you were in every single position. Like, if I was my builder, how would I build it? If I was operating my machinery, how would I want that done? And I put myself in their shoes, and I try to make sure that everyone does it the way that I want to.
Mm.
But at some point, you can't micromanage everybody. But that's just teaching, like, the respect for what I am doing, where I treat it like art,
Hmm.
and I want them to also treat it like art. Like, my best builder, he's an artist to me. He's a sculptor. He's not a cabinet maker. He's a sculptor, and that's how I treat him. And he actually gets bored when I give him cabinet boxes and I don't give him some weird curved, like, that's why a lot of my
So
cabinetry is all
cute.
curved, because they get bored. They're like, I want to do fun stuff. And I think finding people that have a similar respect and interest for the craft that we do is the most important. Um, Second, I'd say you got to know a lot about business, like your taxes,
Mm.
yeah, how to run payroll. There's a lot behind the scenes that fills up a large portion of our time, where it takes away the time to do things that I want to do, you know? So be mindful that that's the part you don't want to do and it's going to have to get done. So if you don't want to do it, you got to hire a manager or something, you know? And luckily my project manager, we also call her HR.
Oh.
when we have an issue, we go, I'm going to tell HR on you. And she runs a lot of that behind the scenes so that I can focus on what I do best.
Oh, I love that. So you guys can't see if you're listening to the audio and not watching the video, but behind Domenic is this amazing. First of all, I see the shoe dog, the coffee table book, all the things. This amazing, artistry behind him. So make sure you tap into the video part so you can see some of his work right here. It's first front row seats, right? And so I want to ask you, have you come across in your, as you're building closets, because you like to do very different types of architecture in the closet, that's what I'm going to call it. What was the hardest project or hardest request that you ever got for a closet? That would seem like it's wild. How do we make this happen?
I mean, so many things that we're doing right now are curved, and that is just wood isn't intended to be curvy, you know? And so working with more unique laminates and veneers to create bendable surfaces, it's a challenge. But the hardest one was actually my daughter's bedroom. We built a slide and I drew my rendering, right, as kind of a joke. I was like, imagine if I just had this slide and it's 2 stories, her bed's underneath, the playroom's upstairs. Wouldn't this be cool? And I show it to my mom, who was helping with my house during my remodel. And she was like, that's what you want? And I was like, yeah, but I don't know yet. And then literally the next day, she had all of the framing done on the inside of the house. And I was like, girl, I don't know how I'm going to make that. What do you mean? And so she built up the frame to prep it for what I then needed to do. And I'm like, well, now I'm on the hook. Now I have to figure it out. And it was 10 people I have teams. So I have my internal cabinet shop team. And then I have a whole crew of remodel people who handle my tile and my flooring and everything else, because we do a lot of remodeling. And everyone on that team, they tried. No one could get the radius right. And finally I brought my little sculptor in the back and I was like, you have to just figure it out.
Yeah.
And it took him I think 3 weeks of sculpting the slide, and it was all done and beautiful and it worked, but I'm like, it's not going to fit through the door. What do we do? And then we had to cut it into 3 pieces and seam it back together on site. And it was just it felt like something that would never, ever, ever get done. But now that I know how to do it, I'm like, oh, I would do this for a client for sure.
Oh,
but I'm so grateful I didn't experiment on a client and I did it in my own house first, because I would have kicked me out by then. I would have been like, oh, this is taking too long.
And or been stressed out to the point where it'd been like, oh no, I'm just gonna give you your money back. This is not working.
Oh, by the 3rd week, everyone in my office was like, I found a slide online that we could just order. And I'm like, no, that's not the option. We spent this time, we've come this far, we're gonna figure it out. And we did.
So we're not going backwards. We're going forwards. Period.
Exactly. Okay. And then it was, now what do we want it to be covered in? And I'm like, well, I didn't think that far, because it was all out of wood. And it's like, well, how do we make it slippery and make it slidable? And we figured it out, and now it looks amazing. I'll do a full reveal video.
Oh my God, I was about to say, now you have to show us this full reveal of the slide.
Yeah, and she has the sickest closet for a 5-year-old that you could imagine. So, and it's all open. Everything in the room is you can see the closet, see the slide, see the play. It's all very visual. It's an experience. It's cool. It feels like you're in a store. My
dad was in construction, building houses and stuff. And after this, I'm probably going to give him a call and be like, you never built me a closet. You never built me anything, actually. What in the heck? Zara's lucky. She is lucky to have you guys as parents, because little girl's dream. You guys are creating a monster, by the way. Just know that this gets worse as she gets older.
For sure. Yeah, we're seeing it. We're like, I think we've gone too far.
It's too late. It's too late to turn back now.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the fun part. This is where we get into the closet confessions. And you get to be as honest as you want to be. The goal is always to be vulnerable, which I'm not worried about you, because now that I know your birthday and all the things, I trust that you are going to be as honest. This is a question. You mentioned freedom earlier in our conversation. If freedom had to hang on a hanger, what would be on it?
Oh, freedom had to hang. If freedom had to hang on a hanger, that is such an artistic sentence. Mm. Okay, I gotta know. Is this like an article of clothing or is this like a metaphor?
It could be whatever you want it to be. It could be a
I know.
metaphor
I'm like,
and matter of fact, let's do a metaphor and a piece of article of clothing. What's going to be on there?
okay, for an article of clothing, it's a Birkin bag. Obviously, you put that on a hanger, a purse hanger. You know, not a hanger, right? We're loosey here. Obviously, that's like the most sought after aspirational bag. You know,
Yes.
do I think there's cooler bags in the world? Yes, but is that the magic bag that everyone strives for? Yes, it's beautiful. I actually got one from a client, which was amazing.
Shut up.
But crazy, right? She paid me with a Birkin.
Who can say that?
It was a crazy story, but okay, metaphorically, freedom, I would say time. You know, like if you could wrap time up in a bow and put that on a hanger somehow, somewhere, you'd be a billionaire. But yeah, I think that once you're able to control your own time, that's freedom.
I love that.
I'm working on it.
That's actually really good, actually. When you're designing for others, what part of you shows up every single time?
Ooh, for others. I think my love for fashion and my extremeness. I'm not afraid to do something that the client didn't actually think that they wanted or show them something. Like they might have asked for a couple of shelves and I'm going to show them the whole experience. I always start with the dream. I'm like, don't let me not show you something just because you told me this is what you wanted. I'll show you that, but let me show you what I'm thinking. And I think that I always put myself into the design and I want to make sure I show them what I can do and not just what they're asking for.
I love that. And you also mentioned somewhere I read where you said, if they see it as just a closet, they're not my client. I
Not for me.
absolutely love that. What is one of your horror client stories?
Oh my gosh. I've had a few, unfortunately. Um, a job that I worked on for a really, really long time, like almost a full year. I didn't get any photos of it, no pictures. The husband kicked me out of the house because he would literally gossip about his wife to me and like vent to me. And I was like, your wife called me. Your wife kind of became my friend throughout the whole process. I don't really know you like that, you know? And I spent a lot of time with her. And it was like when he came in at the end and he would just like roast her, I couldn't handle it. And I was like, you were saying the craziest things. And then one day we had a meeting and he said something like really rude to me and I was like, I don't know, but this is what you were saying yesterday. And then he was like, oh, you know too much, you know, like I've said too much in front of you and now I'm scared. Kick me out of his house. And I was like, I'm never gonna get any photos of this. This sucks. Like it was just a job at that point, which that's the thing is it's never just a job for me. You know, like I want to be able to take pictures and celebrate what I did and show my team and come back and be like, look at what we did. And so when it's just a paycheck at the end of the day, that's not worth it. You know, it's
Oh
not
my
what we're here to
God.
do.
First of all, thank you for sharing that. But you even saying like it being just a job or just a paycheck, we have come to the end of our time because I want to respect your time. Although I can talk to you all day, I'm gonna come see you in Vegas. I promise you, I am, and take you to lunch or
Yes,
dinner
come
or
whenever.
something. Like it's recorded now. It's on here. I have to do it. But
I'll be waiting.
listen, I'm coming. But I want to know from you because you even just said it. It's just a job. It's just a paycheck. If you can say one last thing to our audience that's listening, like what is it? What is something that you will want to leave behind? It could be your words as legacy. It can be your words of encouragement. It can be motivation. Like what is something that you would tell them who are listening that may be in the messy middle, that may be looking for a job or at a job that they hate or waiting to have a family or, you know, like whatever it is in their messy middle, what is something you would share?
I would say go for it and don't be afraid. Like, don't let something like a paycheck or money or something stop you. If you want to do something to your home and you're worried that you can't afford it, find out what it costs first before you start telling yourself no. Or you want to try a different career move or you want to do something different, try it. Like you'll never know. You might fail going to where you thought you were going, but you might get somewhere else that you didn't know you belonged anyways.
I love that. Domenic, this has been awesome. Like, I am so happy that I got past my fear of reaching out cold email, but and we are here talking.
I'm glad you did.
Yes, me too. I'm so grateful for your time. Where can people find you on the social, on the people's internet, and whatever else you have coming up that you want people to know? Like, what should be? I mean, we are going to wait for that slide, so let us know where we can
Yes,
find you.
yeah, it'll be soon. It'll be soon. It's almost ready. No, my Instagram is LV Closet Design. I post a lot. I post a lot of stories, daily updates, behind the scenes stuff. I'm really starting to get more into the behind the scenes where I want to show you like how I do what I do and not just the before and after. And I think this one recent install that we've been doing, I don't know if you've been seeing it.
Yes.
We documented the whole thing and it went viral. It went crazy, but it's seeing like the good, the bad, and the ugly before the fun experience, you know? And I think that's been really fun and eye-opening to a lot of people.
And you guys need to go just go sit on his Instagram the way I did and just stalk the whole Instagram, because everything in there, I'm like, ooh, I want to do, ooh, I wish I was in that closet. And I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna share my own closet confession. When I got laid off and I got a call from a really big client, that's how my whole business and everything started. Like, I actually did not know about like closet design. I would literally be on sketching paper because my dad was, as I told you, a carpenter. My mom never finished school in interior design. So I feel like I'm just kind of like a little combination of both of them. And I tried that whole design the closet, bring in the fabricator. My fabricator was great, all the things, but that is not my lane. So everything turned out great, but I stick to the organization side. So I just want to give you your flowers and all the things for what you do, because it's not easy at all. Every penny that people have to pay is 1000% worth it. And so I just want to say thank you. And I cannot wait to actually meet you in person. And I'll probably, I want to come see your studio and things. So I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so fun.